The next player we want to talk about is somebody that be raging. Like, he be out here, you know what I'm saying, acting like he's in a mosh pit at a daggone Wu-Tang concert, blood on his eyes. He looked like a professional wrestler. I'm talking about none other than my man. Here are the top 5 waiver wire targets you need to pay attention to for fantasy basketball. So I talked about it a little earlier on, man. The whole situation with Julius Randle going down is heartbreaking, right? It's heartbreaking for the New York Knicks fan base, for fantasy basketball managers, and just basketball fans. Your man was killing. The Knicks are doing as good as they've done in years. But when we have an injury in fantasy, that means an opportunity is being created for someone else. And I believe that the person that will get the most out of this situation of Julius Randle being out is going to be my man, Josh Hart, the heartbreaker, the heartbreak kid, right? From the heartland. Like, it's going all the way down. Like, come on, man. If he is available on your waiver wire, go grab him now. Like, pause the video, pause the podcast, make sure you go get him right now. He is currently rostered in only 31.7% of ESPN leagues. He is also, in the last 7 days, averaging 7 rebounds a game, which is great, and 1 steal per game. One thing that's really important to know is that he had standalone value anyway, right? So Josh Hart is not someone who, because Julius Randle got injured, all of a sudden he became relevant. He's been relevant and been kind of a fringe, rosterable type of player. Sometimes he gets dropped, depending on the size of your league. If you're in a deeper league, maybe he's been on a roster. But if he's available in a standard 12-team roster, 10-team roster, even an 8-team roster, I would go ahead and grab him just to see what happens, because chances are he will get into the starting lineup with the injury to Julius Randle. He doesn't necessarily play the power forward, right? But I think they'll move things around, and he does have the ability, even though he's a small guy, to play the small forward. He's been known to play the 3. So it's really important that you take advantage when injuries occur to figure out who's the next man up. And in this case, I believe the person we really want to focus on for the waiver wire this week is Josh Hart. The next player I want to talk about is someone that, honestly, I've been waiting to talk about. I haven't mentioned him in any of the shows in terms of picking him up, but I probably talked about him and his brother during the offseason, somebody that I was targeting in many of my drafts with my later picks. I was trying to grab him and his brother. And no, I'm not talking about LaMelo Ball and Lonzo Ball, where they do that at, right? I'm not doing that. Of course, I'm talking about none other than one part of the Thompson twin duo, my man, welcome to the show, Amin Thompson. Amin Thompson, in the last 7 days, has averaged 21 minutes per game. I always talk about it. It's a stat that maybe we don't highlight enough in this space, where people talk about usage, they talk about the stats that they have, the stocks, the blocks, the steals, the points, all of that. But just basic minutes, right? Minutes equal production. And him going from 16.5 minutes per game on the season up to 21 points is a very, very good sign, right? This is the kind of signal that would lead to something special happening, especially in a team, where the coach rewards good play. The next player we want to talk about is somebody that be raging. Like, he be out here, acting like he's in a mosh pit at a daggone Wu-Tang concert, blood on his eyes. He looked like a professional wrestler. I'm talking about none other than my man, Isaiah Stewart from the Detroit Pistons. So over the last 7 days, Isaiah Stewart has been cooking with hot grease. Talking bacon grease. Like hot, bubbling bacon grease. No avocado oil, no coconut oil, no vegetable oil. Just like animal fat. Like, that's what I'm talking about, like the real deal. So in the last 7 days, he's averaged 13.7 points per game, 7.7 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, and there's more. 1.7 blocks per game. Your man is on fire. He is only rostered in 13.5% of ESPN leagues. Get yourself some Isaiah Stewart. Next up is somebody that I've been, again, waiting for. Like, he's been on this show before, but it hasn't been because of this. Like, he is officially coming into his own, and the recent trades that his team did kind of led to this, this, I guess, eruption, if you will, of, stats and production that he's been putting up over the last couple of weeks. And it's been impressive, man. This is somebody that I'm high on. I think he could be a really good target in not just redraft leagues, but also in dynasty leagues. From the Charlotte Hornets, Nick Richards. Nick Richards is only rostered in 10.6% of ESPN leagues. He's averaging over the last 7 days 30 minutes per game, up from 24.8 what he averages on a season. But check this out. Come here. Your man is averaging over the last 7 days 20.3 points per game. His season average, 9.7. That's a big deal. Terry Rozier just got traded. The chemistry on the team is kind of, readjusting. And they might make more moves. You know what I'm saying? In the last 7 days, he's also averaging 10 rebounds a game, 0.7 assists, no steals, but this is the whopper. This is the big one. 2.7 blocks per game over the last 7 days. Let that sink in. And it's not some fluke crap. It's not some fly-by-night. It's not a freaking fluke, because on the season, he's averaging 1.4 blocks. That's what you want to pay attention to. When people have like big runs for a week or two, look at their season averages and see if it's not so far off. Because a player who's averaging 1.4 blocks per game is valuable to me. But if he has a run of 2.7, that's the kind of signal that you need to pay attention to when it comes to being successful at fantasy basketball. Next up is another player that we've spoken about on the show, somebody who we've been waiting for him to really come out of his shell and be the player that we believe he can be. And he's in a system where there are a lot of older guys, legendary Hall of Fame guys who kind of run the show and have the keys to the car. But he's making a claim that, hey, I'm the next guy up, and he's producing on that type of level from the Golden State Warriors. I'm talking about my man, Jonathan Kaminga. Just like Nick Richards, he's been cooking. Over the last 7 days, check this out. 34 minutes a game, up from 24 minutes a game. 26 points per game. Folks, the top is off. Boobies is out. Hair blowing in the wind. Your man Kaminga is here. 26 points a game. Jeez. But he's averaging 14.5 on the season, which is still valuable. 7 rebounds a game. 2.3 assists per game. Check this out. 1.3 steals per game. So he is actually like flaming, like flamethrower out here. He's like daggone Eminem in the booth on daggone Slim Shady first album.